Hello teacups, what's brewing? It's been a while there. It's probably going to continue to be a little while before I get back to regular reacts, or if something doesn't change, I might not get back to regular reacts. I'm not entirely sure at the moment. I was meant to work a 6-day week this week, which fortunately got cancelled last night, so I'm not in work right now, but I am due to work a 6-day week next week. And I've just received an email saying that I'm going to be a mentor for a new teacher as well. So I don't mind helping out. You need mentors when you come into the school, but it's going to be a busy old time. So I've got less patience, time and energy for the shenanigans we find in YouTube. That being said, this react kind of recap, whatever you want to term it, it's going to be a little bit of a different format today. I've got some clips put together. It's not just from one, it's more a compare and contrast than an actual react. Now the content is a little bit older. We are using from all the way in August 10th her I'm Sorry and I Hear You stream, and we're juxtapositioning it with her deleted hot mess stream and a couple of clips from some others that have happened over the course of the time I've not been reacting, which is just over a week now. Usually I wouldn't bother doing reacts or recaps or anything on content this old because it generally isn't relevant by the time you move forward. However, I watched her crying stream last night, or at least the beginning of it when she was in the car, and I was feeling some ways. And I think if we don't have this context, if we don't have this compare and contrast, then the ways I was feeling are going to look entirely unsympathetic. But there are reasons, and this is essentially the reason. So I really wanted to cover it before we got started. Now, some of these clips are a little bit longer because, like I said, it compares them. So it might be a few minutes, but instead of just putting it up in the corner like I usually do, I'm going to show it here and I'm going to intersperse it with my thoughts because I'm not doing a minute by minute, blow by blow. All right, let's get into the video.
I feel like this is very necessary because the situation I'm in is a lot more serious than I thought it was. The long conversation I was supposed to have with Shannon over the phone, I actually had with BB. And BB, I think God put BB in my life for a reason, because when I talk to him, things are just, he says things that I've never heard him say in my whole relationship with him. Now that I really, really need him, I just feel like he's really, really helped. And I think he's watching. Sorry if you don't want me to say that. No, I haven't told BB, but he's an ex, right? Just like Pete's exes. For a reason. No, I didn't tell BB because I don't want to hear it anymore from anybody. I've made my choice. Why is everyone stressed out in my life? Fuck. Even the cats. It's important to remember that those who have always been there for you might not be someday if you take them for granted. I'm not taking anybody for granted. That's what I mean, Liliana. Like, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong by simply living my life. Do you know what I mean? Like, people get so fucking hurt over decisions I make, but it's like, I've made my decision. That's it. Exposes his violent background. Who cares if he had who cares? I know about his background, and I'm not gonna, even if he had a violent background, I put everyone on an emotional roller coaster. Do I force anyone to be here? How do I put people on an emotional roller coaster just by living my life? When I'm just like fucking like annoyed, like, and just, ugh. And then I have people like treating me like shit in my life or not talking to me or whatever. So I'm just saying that because, yes, I want you guys to know that I'm very thankful for everybody that, I don't want to cry.
Okay, full disclosure, some of my clipping and contrasting is on the shadier end of things because I was entirely out of patience and extremely tired. When I started clipping it, I was like, oh God. So, excuse me for that. I do realize that it looks quite bad. But it is quite bad in a lot of ways. And this anger she has where she's like, I'm not doing anything, I'm just living my life. I think there are moments when she genuinely believes it. because she's in this constant push and pull of, I want all the sympathy, I want all the attention, I want all the emotion, I want you to care about me, but God, you're caring about me too much and it's suffocating me. And we're seeing that. And when she goes, how do I put you on an emotional roller coaster? She is talking to her audience, but in general in her life. You have moments where you call them into the ER at 2 a.m. You have hour-long conversations with your exes who clearly care enough about you to have hour-long conversations with you and try and save your life. And then you're like, he's a fucking ex for a reason. It's so incredibly ungrateful for the people who are willing to put time, emotions, and energy into trying to help you because they care enough to do it. And that comment of, people you rely on aren't going to be there. When she's angry like this, she doesn't give a shit. She's like, I don't want them to be there. But then, and this goes into the crying stream we had, when she's like, I don't want the attention, but guys, and it's on the internet. You put it out, and people respond to it, and then you have a go at people for responding to it. The manipulation of emotions, like she harvests emotions from her audience, from her family, from her friends, from her exes, and then is amazed when people feel like they have a stake in her life. And by stake, I don't mean she owes them anything, but we talk about stakeholders in organizations, about, people who have some kind of response, some kind of responsibility, some kind of stake in an event happening. They are all stakeholders in your life. They all have a reason to care about what's happening in your life. And she resents it so much when she's angry. And her poor family. When I don't know what's going on with the people refusing to talk to me in my real life, I think it would be very interesting if this was her family, parts of her family refusing to talk to her. And again, we'll get more into that in the crying stream. But I genuinely look at her and I'm like, I can't believe you're saying what you're saying because it's so obvious. But to her, sometimes I really don't think it's obvious. Sometimes she just lies and she willfully misunderstands. We see that with ALR as well, but I don't understand. Can you explain yourself better? When she clearly does. But I think when Chantal is in her emotions, she really doesn't. She's like, I've never done anything in my life. Why am I being punished? The world is so hard. And it's a very childish view, which we've come to expect from her. But she doesn't think anything of other people's emotions and the burdens that she lays on them, because to her, once she's decided something is no good anymore, she erases it from her mind entirely and is shocked and surprised and doesn't understand when other people won't do the same. Oh, you're not an addict with an abusive boyfriend today? Okay, no, that's it, we're done. We'll never mention it again. Of course, they're going to mention it again. Of course, they're going to follow up. And in the I'm sorry and I hear you, when she's trying to do a bit of damage control and she was a little bit further away from payday and maybe Don wasn't quite so interested, she seemed to understand that. And now we're back here, she doesn't.
Like, I know I need to make the changes. I feel like people in my life do love and care about me, and they're not going to let me ruin my life. And I know that's what BB's like. If you don't make these changes and we don't hold you accountable and nothing happens, I'm like telling your family, and I'm like I know people are serious, and I'm not laughing because I think it's not serious. I don't beg people to be in my life. I don't. I've never, I feel like I don't deserve my friends, my family.
At this point, I would agree with her. I don't think she deserves the tolerance her friends and families have shown her. Now, obviously, we have the Shannon issue, but even Shannon's back. Even now, they're like, oh no, you understand, it'll be okay. She sucked her back in with this fake, oh, I'm understanding, or maybe not even fake, maybe just very short-lived example of, oh no, I understand where you're coming from. Now, I kept this separate from the other one, even though it was BB and family still, because what she was saying about, I don't think my family would let me ruin my life, which is essentially the idea there, while also being like, I don't beg people to stay in my life and no one else can control my life. She still has this idea of, if anything really did happen, because she still doesn't believe that anything's going to happen to her. She outright says it at some point, nothing bad's going to happen to me. And if it did, well, that would be because other people didn't support me the way they should have. And she's spoken in previous lives about how betrayed and angry she would feel if her mum decided, no, we're done. That's it. It's over. I can't emotionally invest in this anymore. I can't watch you die. I'm taking a step back and you need to figure yourself out. And if her mum did that, how betrayed she would feel. And she's still got that. The family is still a safety net. And she's always, whenever she's wanted to make big changes, I don't think she wants to make changes at the moment, but whenever she's wanted to, she's always looked for a way that would force her. And I 100% believe that she thinks, well, if things got bad enough, my family would force me, even if I were kicking and screaming. And I'm not sure she has the ability to be forced, because she's so resistant. I can't imagine how bad things would have to get for her to agree to it, because I'm guessing pretty awful. But in terms of actually forcing her, I'm not sure the family can. I think this is a case of you just have to hit the ground as hard as you hit it and hope the splatter doesn't go too far. I think that's the only way she's going to get change. But just in case, it's going to be your fault because you didn't support me in the right way. You didn't force me to get better. And I don't think that's a burden her family deserves. Because at this point, I feel like her family don't deserve what she's doing to them. But she never thinks that far in terms of how her actions impact other people because, why would you do that?
First, I just want to say that I hear you. I want you to know, everything I'm about to say is absolute truth. And I want to let you know first thing that I do hear you. And I'm sorry if I've worried you, if I've hurt you in any way, or if you felt ignored or whatever. You're pushing people away. Why am I pushing people away? They're the ones leaving me. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. There are a lot of things, I'm going to admit, bad things going on. There have gone on. I'm trying really hard to deal with the situation. And what I want to really, really, really do differently is just show my actions and not just be about talking about everything all the time. So I just want to let you know, guys, know that I hear you and I appreciate your concern. I appreciate a lot of you have gone through situations and have seen red flags that I wasn't seeing.
Hi, Tess.
I think you get defensive because you feel like you're being forced into something.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Pete. I'm a sociopath? You're an idiot, Moonchild. I hope you know that. If you didn't, I've just told you, and I'll tell you every day. Yes, I've been stabbed in my... Do I look stabbed to you? Friggin' morons. You look so pretty. Julie Laughlin, thank you! I appreciate a nice compliment once in a while instead of crack whore, chinny, fucking cokey, or whatever you want to call me. All your intelligent insults. Nothing bad is going to happen to me. I'm not going to show proof and fucking dox somebody.
Let's see. Take some screenshots. I'm not going to Oh shit. That's her number. I showed her number. I'm so sorry. I actually showed her number. Okay.
How do you know he's lying poop fart? You don't know that. How do you know he's the one lying? Just because he looks bad right now. He looks like the bad guy. That's why. A lot happened. It was an abusive relationship in every way. So please tell me you're not prejudiced. I'm sure a lot of you are. I don't understand what the problem is. I've made my decision and that's it. I don't need support for things I do. Your stupid comments piss me off. It's not cocaine, it's you. Suggestive negative things. You guys don't know anything beyond that. It was an abusive relationship in every way. Well, if I want to smoke weed on my channel, I'm going to. If you don't like it, then fucking report me. Or don't watch me. Go off. Go off. I'm gonna live my life. You guys are crazy. I'm not even gonna talk to you. You don't deserve it. Yeah, I don't care. I know, whatever. Everyone's canceled their membership. Fine. How do you know Joy? You don't know him. You don't know if he loves me or how he's gonna love me or what I give him anymore, if I give him anything. Yeah, I don't know. See, like, I didn't have to tell you that I paid his rent. Like, why would I tell you that? Like, that's no one's business. See, I tell you... No, I won't be paying anybody's rent ever again. I have my own bills. Like, I was honest about that, just the one thing to help him out. Oh, good, Kristen. Thank you. Thank you for reporting me.
The fucking attitude on this bitch. For real. I don't think she needs to throw her viewership a parade. We don't need a medal. We make our choices on who we watch and who we don't, yeah? However, we also have the element of now she knows that BB watches, now she knows that her family check in occasionally because they can't trust her, to be honest. And also she's talking directly to her audience here. She starts with, oh, I'm sorry, I hear you, I'm gonna do better, I'm gonna show action. Think of the actions she has shown over the last week to 10 days. I mean, seriously. And to sit here just railing at her audience. Now, it's not that it's something new, but her position is a lot more precarious than she ever gives it credit for. Like, she earns money from YouTube and she's spending a lot of money because she's paying rent and she's giving away new phones, which she did admit to, and, you know, all this other stuff and the extra expenses. And then she'll come crying to her audience when she's got no one else to turn to because she's polluted every relationship she has in her life. But we're pieces of shit. Are you serious? Madam, are you serious? You don't have to like what I say on channel. No one has to like what I say on channel. I'm not expecting her to come crawling into my comments and go, oh, thank you so much for watching. That is not our relationship. I criticize her online. I don't expect her to like it. But in terms of her general audience, I can't remember if that stream was VIB or not. I feel like it was open and then she lost her temper and went on to members only. But she insults her memberships a lot, and that is her bread and butter right now. That is the reoccurring payment that's going to keep her going in a way that ads are less reliable on. And with her content, her streams are getting reported more. And in some streams, when she's a bit calmer, she's like when she flashed her ass recently, oh, she was like, oh, will it get my channel deleted? Oh, how bad was it? And then she left that up for, is it still up? I want to say at least a while. But she's not careful on her channel, so that's really going to impact her ads, because the more they get reported, the more YouTube is going to check on it. When you go to publish a video, there is a screen where it says my video contains and has like different categories, and you can drop down and say it. And sometimes if you've got like mild language in your video, you can still run ads on that. It's fine. They just need to know so they know which ads to match to your video. It doesn't mean you can't run them. But I'm guessing she doesn't do that. And the thing is, if you rate your videos accurately at that stage, YouTube will allow that rating to stand without going in and manually checking it every time. It makes it faster. But when your streams are constantly getting reported and you don't have high accuracy for what you're reporting is in your stream, then YouTube is going to start checking that shit. And if YouTube starts looking too close at her channel, she's going to be in actual trouble. So when she goes and looks at her paycheck, or goes and looks at her views, or goes and looks at how many videos are being demonetized, yeah, you should be a bit more careful. And maybe not cussing out your audience on a regular basis might be good for you. Maybe long term might be more successful for you, but you know, we're not there. And every time she needs something, like I say, she comes crawling back to the audience. You guys, I'm so sad and I'm so depressed and I just need support right now. And yet when support is offered, this is what we get. I can't believe she's at all surprised that people are angry at her when she's leeching out the emotional response she wants just to throw it back in people's faces. And that's kind of where I am as an audience member right now. I feel used up. I feel like I am generally more sympathetic to her than most people. And the more and more she abuses that emotional response, the less willing I am to extend it, even when it's a terrible situation. But if you're determined to march face forward, eyes wide open, flipping everybody else off into that situation, well, there's only so much I can do for you here.
So I basically kind of have to do this at the table, I think. So I think I'm gonna wait for Pete. What? No?
These aren't.
The right ones?
I need an actual screwdriver.
Doesn't say we need one.
Okay, but yeah, these screws are not. They're not Allen wrench screws.
Well, then how does it go in?
With a screwdriver.
Do we have one?
I have no idea.
I don't like doing this. No, that's not how you do it. You know how to put the drill bit in? Oh, shit. Ah, fuck.
What?
I still have his bed sheets in the trunk.
You can get new bed sheets.
No, it's like all the bedding.
You can get new bedding.
No!
Fine.
I don't want any problems. Are you gonna come with me again?
Yeah. Stay on side. Let him get new bedding as well.
Oh, he's saying I didn't bring his clothes. I did! He's gonna give me trouble.
Well, I was there. You put the clothes down. So.
And I messaged like right after, right?
Yep. Not your fault if he lives in a shitty part of town and his clothes got stolen.
Burst
Hi,
into something.
everybody.
Hi, Pete. Sorry for all the mess. I am actually going to get help, and I will definitely keep you guys updated on that. Because
There.
I don't know. I don't want
There.
sympathy. I just
Oh, while I'm here, just thought of this.
The
If
ways-
you don't like Chantal, please don't follow me on Twitter. Like, I don't want you following me if you're one of the people who criticizes her a lot, makes fun of her.
I'm just joking.
Just please don't.
Nanny Love, are you and Pete's really moving? Thank you, Nanny Love. Yeah, we are going to eventually move, but I'm not sure if it's going to be together. I don't see how that's just like I don't know if that's a good idea anymore. I'm not. Why is it poor Pete's? Fuck. Like, he's a grown man. Like, we are grown adults. Like, I want to have a private fucking life. I want to be alone. I want to travel. I don't want to have ball and chain people around me all the time. Okay? I don't. I know that sounds mean, but how am I dumping Pete's? So I just have to have Pete's all the time, like forever, till I'm fucking dead? Like, we can't live apart? I can't have my own life? Can't be with somebody else? I'm a horrible person for that. For wanting my own life. Like, he's my friend, but like, I'm just stressed out, like always worrying about, like when I'm over there, worrying about over here, like what he's gonna have for dinner, or what, like the cats, and I just like, and then I'm trying to like figure out, like, I have all these things to do, and I'm just like fucking like annoyed, like, and just ugh.
You're not a horrible person for wanting your own life. You're a horrible person for turning your back on Pete every time you've got a hint of a new life, even if it's not a great one, and then expecting him to be there when you turn back around. I left this stuff in because she's really been treating Pete like crap just recently. I don't generally have a huge amount of sympathy for Pete. I think he makes his choices. But here's the thing. Pete is an awkward little man-child. And when you saw him at the beginning of this, where he was trying to comfort her, and he's going there. On initial watch, I was like, why the fuck is he here? This is awkward and doesn't seem to be, like, why is he being so purposefully blithe about this? And then on second watch, I kind of stopped myself and I was like, hang on, this is him trying to offer genuine support. This is just the best way he knows how. He's not great at expressing his own emotions. And so doing it in this way where you can kind of laugh at it a little bit is the only way he can have anything genuine. So he can't sit there and have a full conversation with her. He can't. He can't express his emotions in that way. But when she went live and she seemed upset, he turned up in her room and he sat down with her. And he said good when she was like, I'm going to get help. This is as much as Pete can do. Yeah? Both personally and within the relationship with her, it's as much as she'd allow and it's as much as he can do. So actually, credit to him. He's doing what he can. And while he's not great at sort of breaking down emotions and having genuine conversations with her, he's not going to be the guy who can sit there and say, I am worried about you and we need to talk about this because these are my fears. He's not that guy. But he will show up when she is upset. He will check in on her and be like, what wouldn't I do, when he can see something actively happening? He'll be perhaps a slightly creepy shadow in the background, but he'll be there in a way that she doesn't see or appreciate in any way. When she wanted to go to Dom's and drop off that laundry, he was with her. He didn't let her go by herself. He said right there and then, even when he disagreed with her going back to do the bedding, which turns out was a good thing to disagree with, he was like, yeah, I'll go with you again. He's putting together the baker's rack. It's not in this clip, but he's putting on her socks. Pete, for all we like, no, he's a child. And for all she treats him a lot like what she treats her responsibility towards him more as kind of a child she doesn't really want to be taken care of. He can live alone. He has lived alone. Yes, he doesn't like to drive, but he can live somewhere with public transport. He can function, although he struggles with depression, he can function on his own, and he has done in the past. He doesn't have to be with her, and they do kind of actively make each other kind of worse, but he chooses to be there. He doesn't have to. She gives him shit, he can leave. Life would be harder. He would have to put money towards his own place. But he's done it before. He could rent a room, he could do a thing. He doesn't because she's there, but if she's not there, he's got options. She doesn't have options. She goes, fuck you dudes, I'm out, and then goes to live with Dom, God forbid, goes to Eurobees and gets herself into trouble. He is her safety net, but she is not his. And she doesn't appreciate that at all. And this whole narrative of, oh, I should have him till I'm fucking dead. When they moved into that house, she made a point of saying how, I think we're just going to be together forever. I think we're going to be roommates forever, and that's just how life's going to be. And I could believe it. I could believe that would be their relationship. They just chill out and be roommates. Because she doesn't seem ready for any other kind of relationship, and he doesn't seem willing. So it's one of those things. And yeah, I'm not going to sit there and judge that. I don't think they're good for each other, but I think they function together. So to sit there and call him a ball and chain, how do you think that feels? He goes out of his way, in that ever so awkward way he's capable of, to offer her support. And that's her response. And it's not very often I get up in arms on Peter's behalf, but that pissed me off because he does deserve better than that. That wasn't okay. He has shown in a number of ways a lot of support for her. He has tried to help her, even when he's kind of struggling with things himself, and he didn't deserve this. He didn't. Chantal generally seems to be on about a week and a half, 2 week cycle, maybe like a bi-monthly cycle at the moment, where she's either coming away from payday or going towards it. And depending on where she is in it, depends on what her relationship with Dom is like. So when we're getting to sort of the other half of the clock and it's getting closer towards payday, things with Dom start getting a little bit better. And so she starts building all these castles in the sky and we start hearing things like, oh, we're not sure if we're going to move together. I don't know if that's good for me. Because she, I think, secretly fantasized about making a little house in the trap house and making it hers and lovely and having that kind of relationship. Because now that she's had a meaningless one and she hasn't liked it, well, no, if we can just stay sober and we can stay together, it's going to be beautiful and maybe we'll end up getting married. That's what's going on in her head. And then payday comes and goes. It's the 21st right now. She's going to get paid in the next few days. Once the bills are taken care of and they've smoked a little bit, things start getting worse. Things kind of move back over here, and Dom cares less because he's got less investment to care about because things have been taken care of. And they start arguing, and then she goes back to, no, I realize, gather the family around me, gather the friends, harvest the emotions and how I'm really going to change. And that's the point we get back to. And then suddenly Pete has to be there. Suddenly her family has to be there. Suddenly they're useful again. She uses people up and then expects them to be there to be used again. And I don't see how she doesn't see it. And it'll happen again. You give it until probably, the end of the first week of the next month. And then the idea of, oh, the payday's going to come around. She'll go through this whole remorse cycle where she feeds on this emotion and this crying stream where she's like, oh no, guys, I'm so upset, waiting for sympathy to turn. And then when she's at this kind of height of middle of the first week, right before it all changes again, she's like, no, I need to make changes. I'm going to get some healthy groceries. I'm going to access the therapy. I only need to make the phone call. So make the fucking phone call. And then, a few days later, when the honeymoon of I'm going to get healthy, it's going to be great, I've got a new life, a new start, is starting to wear thin at the best of times, suddenly Dom will message her again and maybe, we'll open that conversation and we come all the way back around. And that's just the cycle she's stuck in at the moment. So I will try and cut down the crying stream today so that I can perhaps react to it tomorrow. I'm not sure how it's going to be. Like I said, I've got my first day of mentoring tomorrow and I'm working a 6-day week next week. So I'm not sure how much time I'm going to have in the immediate future. So I might just pop in like this and just try and keep abreast of things. But I'm finding I have very little patience for it. But the plan right now is cut down the crying stream and respond to it hopefully tomorrow. But it's unlikely I'll have reacts out for the rest of that week unless something crazy happens, which it's Foodie, who knows? All right, guys, I'll leave it there. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.